Hello, everyone. How are you? Today's breaking news. A million people face having their benefits slashed as Rachel Reeves looks set to risk the wrath of ministers to cut spending. Cost-saving measures are due to be announced next week, with as much as £5 billion of welfare spending set to be axed. Measures look set to include changes to eligibility for over a million people as well as changes to rules governing who can apply for benefits. The measures could mean that only the most severely disabled will be entitled to welfare, with current recipients who struggle with mental health conditions or lack the ability to wash or dress themselves set to miss out. Sir Keir Starmer has been widely criticized for the proposed cuts by members of his own party, with cabinet members Ed Miliband, Angela Rayner, and Lucy Powell understood to be concerned at the plans. More than half of Starmer's cabinet are said to have urged the Reeves to rethink her plans to overhaul the benefits system in a bid to balance the books ahead of her spring statement. It is understood that ministers spoke out at a cabinet meeting on Tuesday which overran, according to Bloomberg. Ministers are believed to have expressed frustration that the welfare cuts are coming so soon after the foreign aid budget was raided and raised fears that they would be difficult to sell to Labour MPs. The move to cut foreign aid in order to raise defense spending led to International Development Minister Anneliese Dodds resigning. Under the proposals, Liz Kendall, the Work and Pension Secretary, is expected to cut the top rate of incapacity benefit, which currently means that those who are unfit to do any form of work are paid twice as much as job seekers, taking in £800 a month. Other measures include making those on long-term sick prepare for work as well as abolishing the work capability assessment for incapacity benefits. It is also expected that major changes to the eligibility criteria for those who receive personal independence payment will be made, potentially making up the bulk of the planned £5 billion savings target. However, plans to prevent the payment from rising in line with inflation look set to be dropped after a backlash from Labour MPs. Starmer has attempted to defend the cuts, arguing that the current welfare system is broken and in need of reform. He said this week, "We inherited a system which is broken. It is indefensible, economically and morally, and we must, and we will reform it. We will have clear principles. We will protect those who need protecting. We will also support those who can work, back to work, but Labour is the party of work. We're also the party of equality and fairness." Labour MP Brian Leishman blasted the plans, telling Times Radio that it was a ridiculous notion to actually think that we can incentivize people that are not able to work into work. It shows a basic lack of humanity. City and business personal finance the Crusader. Home finance personal finance. Keir Starmer in trouble as Labour MPs plotting sizable rebellion. Gene Hackman's 3 children and their tough relationship. Play War Thunder now for free. War Thunder. Most underrated holiday destination in England with a gorgeous coastline. Labour's to slash benefit payments for 1 million claimants with £5 billion cuts. By Taboola. Labour warned not to pass pain of financial crisis onto people on DWP benefits. Charities and think tanks have slammed potential Labour cuts. By Rory Poulter, personal finance reporter. 1311 Monday, March 10, 2025 updated. 1318 Monday, March 10, 2025. 5 bookmark. Rachel Reeves quizzed on likelihood of further tax rises. Rachel Reeves faces mounting pressure over expected cuts to disability benefits, sparking fears that thousands of vulnerable people could be plunged into poverty. With the party's crunch spring statement just weeks away, the Chancellor is widely expected to unveil up to £5 billion in cuts to welfare spending. This will coincide with a green paper from the Department for Work and Pensions, outlining a controversial shakeup of the system. Britain's welfare bill has skyrocketed, with spending on health and disability benefits reaching £65 billion last year, a 25% increase from pre-pandemic levels. The cost is predicted to hit £100 billion before the next general election. DWP Secretary Liz Kendall has defended Labour's stance, claiming they inherited a system that is failing sick and disabled people while placing an unsustainable burden on taxpayers. She insists reforms will help more people into work and reduce dependency on benefits. But critics argue the changes will come at a devastating human cost. Charities and think tanks have slammed potential Labour cuts, warning that disabled people who already face some of the worst levels of hardship could be pushed even further into crisis. The Joseph Rowntree Foundation, JRF, has sounded the alarm, revealing that half of those receiving health-related universal credit are struggling to afford essentials. Shockingly, nearly a quarter, 24%, of working-age adults in households claiming the benefit have had to turn to food banks in the past year. JRF Senior Policy Advisor Ian Porter said, "Many people will be waiting anxiously to hear what the government is planning. But talk of cutting billions is causing deep fear among those with serious and ongoing health conditions." He told The Independent that the government must not pass the financial pain onto those who can least afford it. Changes to the Work Capability Assessment, WCA, a crucial test determining whether people qualify for additional support, are expected to be at the heart of Labour's plans. Ministers are reportedly aiming to save £1.3 billion per year by tightening eligibility, a move that some fear could see hundreds of thousands lose their benefits.